All right. Hello, 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 and welcome to another live stream. Tonight, the topic of the day is going to be weird, strange, and odd finds. So that is what we're going to be talking about tonight, among some other things such as whatever's on your mind. And I do have one find to show tonight, and we'll see what goes on after that. So let's see. Let me get my chat pulled up in here so I can see what's going on. And where did my chat window go? Bear with me a second here. There it is. All right. Hey, how's it going? Digging Daryl is in the house. How are you, my friend? Let me get rid of this window right here. But again, we're going to be talking about some strange stuff. So if you got strange finds that you want to share, let's talk about them. I've got a few here that I'm going to show. And because I think we all find strange stuff, right? At some point or another. So let's see. Let me try to get some of these comments up. All right, Digging Daryl says hello. Welcome, Digging Daryl. It's good to see you here tonight. Who else is here? Workman's Adventures. Good evening. Good to see you, buddy. 5 Miles here. Howdy. Howdy, 5 Mile. Good to see you in the house. Who else do we have? Miami Detecting Jess is here. It's good to see you, Jess. Thanks for stopping in. Casey is here. Does everybody know who Casey is? I'm a big fan of his shows. Casey is the owner of Excalibur. It's good to see you in here, Casey. I appreciate you stopping in, and we're going to have Casey on one night. And if you guys want to see Casey come on, then let him know in the chat. Pete Clark. Pete, I think I haven't seen you here before, and welcome to the channel and the live stream, and really enjoy my channel. Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate that comment, Pete, and it's good to see you here. Love seeing everybody in the chat. Make sure to engage with one another there. I may lose track of conversation sometimes, but hey, I'm getting old. So Brun Free is here. Yeah, I've been looking at a lot of your stuff you've been finding, and I tell you what, if you guys haven't seen her channel, you need to go check it out, because she's from Australia, and she is really finding some cool stuff out there. Really cool stuff. Sweet. All right. And Casey says, sweet, I'd be happy to come on, man. I'd love to get you on here, and you can introduce your product to, and I know some people probably have already seen it, but I love it. And man, hey, your shovels that's all I use now. That's all I use is Excalibur. So, but we can get on that subject when we bring you on, and Casey and I will chat, and we will work together to try to pin down a date so we can bring him on, and be a great time. So, getting to the topic, strange finds, odd finds. Have you guys ever found anything odd, strange, weird out there in your hunts? I know you have. So let's talk about that for a few minutes. I've got some things I'll show, and I guess, the definition of odd is going to be for each person might be a little different, but I'm definitely, I got some stuff here that we'll talk about. All right. 5 Mile says, Casey, we'd be happy to give you a hard time. Yeah. Right. Hey, does my volume sound okay? Am I too loud? If I'm too loud, I can turn this down. Sometimes this mic gets a little crazy. It's a pretty good mic and it picks up really well. So, and I know last live stream I had some feedback issues. And I think I figured out what that was when we did the giveaway. I think my iPad volume was up. So, but we will not run into that problem this time. Let's give some people some time to get in here. I'm going to bring the comments window up, and because I like seeing everybody's comment big and bold. So, all right, sounds good. Good, thank you. Sound okay from my end in Oz. Thank you. All right, good. Good to go. So, odd finds. What you got? Let me know in the chat. And I'll start showing you some of mine. And has everybody had a good week? How was your 4th? Let's talk about that for a minute. How was your holiday? Did everybody have a good 4th of July holiday? For those of us here in the U.S., it was hot as Hades here, where I'm at. So, I managed to go out to my local park, which I have hammered to death, and I found 2 rings in one hunt. That's never happened to me. But they're not really that special. So I'll show those to you right now because they're laying right here. I cleaned them up, so I think they could be junkers. I didn't see any markings on these. But you see, this one's missing 1 stone. And it does have a silver-ish tint to it, but I don't think this one's, I think it's just a junker. And that was a 80 on the dais too. And this one, however, I think is a lot older. Yeah, let me get this right. This one's a lot older. It's missing a stone right there. But there's a total of, man, this lighting sucks. I need to get some lights. So you see there's a kind of a greenish color stone here in the center. And I don't think this is going to focus on it, but there's like a clear stone that looks kind of diamondish, even though I don't think it is. And so it's missing a stone, but it looks like it was gold plated. So again, I don't think those are anything valuable, or there's no markings. So, and good deal. All right, it's Workman's Adventure said he had a great time on the 4th. Good deal. And Brun Free says it's a show me yours and I'll show you mine kind of show. Okay. All right, so I'll show you this one. And I don't know if this falls into weird, strange, or odd category, but 5 Mile, what you got? Not an odd find? Well, maybe it is. Bullseye Canteen made the cover of American Digger magazine this month. Really? That is awesome, man. I'm gonna have to check out that that edition, and I'm gonna have to see that. That is really cool. Bullseye Canteen made the cover. Nice. Digging Daryl says he found a silver tooth cap. I've heard of people finding grills, like the whole grill, like at the beach and stuff like that. I mean, that is weird. To find somebody's grill, gold teeth, right? Go cash. If there's no owner, you go cash it in, right? So, oh man. Casey says, "What's the rating max for the stream? PG, PG-13, or R?" Well, yeah, that's kind of YouTube's rules. As far as the rating goes, I don't know. I would say let's try to keep it like PG-13-ish, and let's not get into anything too crazy. And I didn't bring it in here, but I did find. Has anybody ever found a head tails coin? I wish I'd have brought that in with me. I found it's a novelty coin I found in the park, and it's on one side of the coin it says heads, and it has oh man, why'd that do that? That stupid camera. It has an unclothed torso of a woman, and on the head side, and on the tail side it has an unclothed rear end of a woman. Crazy, right? That's just crazy. But yeah. Workman's Adventure says awesome 5 mile. Good on that find. Yep. Or on your cover, excuse me, on getting your cover there, or your find on the cover. Very cool 5 miles. So everybody's congratulating. Yeah, that's good, man. That's really cool. So let me go ahead and start with this. I don't know. Some of you might know what this is, but I was going after it was a really high tone. It was like 94, 95, but I could tell it was big, and I was on an old home site, and I said, you know what? I'm just going to go for it. And so here's what came out of the hole on that one. A brass owl. That's an odd one, at least for me anyway. You'll see the back of it's hollow, and it does have a little ring there, like it may have just been an ornament or something hanging up, I guess. I thought at first it might have been a door knocker, but it was not. But all in one piece. I think there might have been something right here that's broken off, but so yeah, there's one of my odd finds, an owl. Yeah. So and let's see, any more comments here? Anybody? Miami Tech says that's a cool owl. Yeah, it is cool. I mean, it was. I had to just sit there and laugh about it, you know, and I was like, okay, this is funny. It's different, right? Different. Casey says, okay, then weird stuff I found: weed pipes and condom tins. Yeah, prepare yourself. Since we're on that subject, have any of you found one of these? And do you know what it is? Or if you hadn't found one, take a guess. Hopefully you can see that on the front. It says 3 Merry Widows. 3 Merry Widows. And I kind of straightened this back out. It's made of aluminum. This side was really bad. Luckily, there was nothing in it but dirt. Right? So, throw your guesses in the comments. Casey, you probably know. But if anybody doesn't know, throw a guess in there and tell me what you think this is. But this definitely falls under one of my strange, odd, weird finds for sure. So, Workman's, you have not found one. Casey says it was attacked by an owl. Why it does look like it, right? Oh, 5 Mile says he's found 3 of them. Yeah, and Digging Daryl, yep, it's a condom tin. So, I had to look it up to figure out what it was because I didn't know when I first found it. And it's these were made, from what I found anyway, and y'all can correct me if you know any better information, but from what I found on the internet, it's like early 1900s. And when they had these. So, something like that. Brun Free says, I never found one of those. That explains why early settlers and odds had 13 children. Ain't that the truth? But you know what's crazy though? Here in America in the early days, families were huge. But I'm going to tell you this site, and Brun Free, you know, because you posted on my token post. That 5-cent token I found on the same site where I found this. So, and some locals here have told me, like, it's kind of like this thing, like, well, you know, I'm not really sure, but, you know, there was an old house back, you know, there in the mid to late 1800s and early 1900s, and they kind of alluded to the fact that that house there might have been something going on there that shouldn't have been. So, yeah, I got my own thoughts about that. So, 5 Mile, you got an odd find? You want to send a pic? Yeah. Yep. Let me find. Okay, at the bottom of the screen is my email. Go ahead and send it. Just let me know when you send it, and then I'll get it out of the email, and we can take a look at it. If anybody else wants to send a picture, go right ahead. Yep. Brun Free, I think you got it right. And, you know, that's kind of what the old timers I was talking to, you know, there's pretty conservative old people around here where I'm at, and they wouldn't come right out and say it, but they kept hinting at it. You know, they were hinting at it. So, and I've looked up those types of tokens that were used in those houses, and there actually is such a thing where, because the madams did not want real money exchanging hands between the girls and the clients. So pretty neat history. I mean, I love digging into that stuff. Now, I'm not sure that they'll want me to say a whole lot about it, which, you know, I've kept all the finds there. Just let me, at 5 Mile, when you send that, let me know. Casey says, I detected an abandoned house. The owner said the town floozy used to. Did you find anything interesting there where the town floozy lived? Did you find one of these? Or maybe something else? Yeah. Brun Free says, I like chatting with old timers. Old farmers here have great stories. They do here too. And so if you're not, I think everybody that's in here right now is probably pretty familiar with it. But if you're not familiar with it, one of your best sources of information when detecting can come from talking with the old timers in the town. So you could really get some good info from those people. And a lot of them are just, they're happy to share because they love telling stories, you know. So you found a bunch of buttons, but it must have been popping off that clothing, huh? Oh boy. 5 miles says sent from Missouri. Okay, let me go check real quick and see what we got here. That is that's interesting. Let me y'all keep on keeping on chatting there while I grab these pictures real quick, and then yep. And the old timers love to talk. Yep. Yep, they sure do. For sure. Ooh, I hear thunder. Hopefully my internet's gonna hold up. That is pretty interesting. All right, so I'm going to do a quick screen share here, and I might lose the chat for a minute, but let's see. Well, what in the world? All right, so there's too much. Hang on a second. Besides getting muddy, I love detecting in the rain. Yeah, it's not bad. All right. Let me open up. Let me open that up. So you said this thing was ringing up all kinds of numbers, and it weighs 13 pounds? Whoa. All right. Hang on just a minute. Let's get this thing up here. All right. Hopefully everybody can see that. He says it weighs 30. That is huge. But you say it was ringing up all kinds of numbers, huh? Wow. That is big. Whatever that is. Oh, and it's thick too. Wow. What is that, about probably 4 inches thick. Wow. That is... So have you figured out what it is yet? Jess says it's a lead paperweight. That's a big paperweight. Yeah, hey, that's the real question right here. You carried that out, and how far were you away from your truck? Let's see. Oh, you already made a comment there. I found it on the side of a hill from 1850s home. The Union had once taken over the house. Interesting. Yeah, so I want to know the answer to this question too. 13 pounds. I hope you didn't have to lug that around for too long. And that's a lot of lead. Yes, it is a lot of lead. I've only got a couple more odd finds to show. And since we just talked about lead a little bit here, this little guy here weighs a lot. And I found this on that same site where I just showed you the other two. And I was thinking maybe he's part of maybe a trophy or something. I don't know. But he's missing his arms and his legs. Oh, yeah. Hey, that's a great idea, Michael. Buckle Boy, that man knows a lot. And he could have a clue of what that might be. So, yeah, you might want to show it to him. I'm not sure if his email's on his channel. Or you could go to his channel. It was probably a plug of some sort, plug up a hole on the side of a foundation. They used to use lead to fill holes like we use great stuff, yeah. But it didn't come in a can, right? Yeah, hey, Buckle Boy's he is real good. He's coming out with a book. And I think he's been working. He worked, I think, with American Digger magazine, and he's going to be coming out with a book hopefully later this year. I think last update I heard on it. And it's going to be a huge book that's all about finds identification. So a really, really good resource. As soon as that thing comes out, I'm going to try to get my hands on one for sure. An oven door. I'll go look that email up. Digging Dudes here. Hey, how's it going? Thanks for stopping in. Miami Detecting, or Jess, that explains why the older homes are still standing. Yeah, that's probably right. That lead foundation, lead and concrete. Top looks like it's been pounded on. Yeah, Brun Free says Buckle Boy's book will be awesome. And I am looking forward to seeing that book as well. There's a video on where he shows a little bit about the book, and he doesn't, because it's not been released yet, so of course he doesn't like really get into specifics, but he kind of does show you how. I mean, this thing is going to be huge. It's going to be a thick book, and so okay. If you guys hear any noise, I've got a wife and a daughter here. So, apologies, but it's all good. Okay, here's what Brun Free sent in. Oh, look at the kangaroos. That's kangaroos, right? To the right. So you got what, an old oven here, and there's the door to the oven. That's pretty neat. That is pretty neat. So did you take that home? Did everyone get a good look at the oven door? My mouse is acting stupid. Sorry. This is what really happens when you do this kind of stuff. So this door that you dug up was made in the 1870s in Italy. Ended up in this ruin in Australia. That is very cool. I love the history behind things. It's interesting that ruins here collapse, but the chimneys are still not that bad. They built the chimney stronger than the house, yeah. And Jess says those kangaroos would be my most unusual find here. Definitely would be the most unusual here. For me too. The L on the door is for left side. Okay. So it's a 2-door oven. That is neat. I'm sorry, it's doing screen shares is kind of iffy with me sometimes because I don't have, some people have 2 monitors or whatever. I don't have 2. So it is what it is. Let's go back to this screen right here. Yep. L on the left side is the L is for left, and 2-door oven. That is really interesting. Let's see what else I got here. Yeah, and just a reminder too, if any of you have finds and stuff like that you want to send to me, or stories, I love stories too, then by all means send them. I'm going to put, I can't promise you I'll be able to, it's easier for me to put this stuff into the stream before you go live. But this form, this QR code right here takes you to a form where you can submit finds and stuff like that. If you want to send them to me. And I usually put that link in my videos when I post them. So has anyone ever found this style of pull tab with the dots on it? You're probably looking at me like he's crazy. He's keeping pull tabs. And yeah, I could be a little bit. But this is, and only because I looked it up, this is actually one of the first style of pull tabs that was made in the early 60s. And I kept this one because, you know, it was fully intact. It wasn't broken. But kind of neat, right? Or maybe not. Kangaroos are so nice when they hop around. So are kangaroos actually nice? You know, because you can't always believe what you see on the internet, but I see sometimes they can be and a little bit aggressive, but maybe that's when they have young. Not sure. But so Larry says he's found one. Good. Digging dude. Yep. I love the older Porcelain tabs, but I've never seen that one. Yep. And, you know, I usually don't keep them. But again, there's 2 pull tabs I've kept, and this is one of them right here. The 1960, 62, whatever date it is. And the other one is a pull tab that I found that on the beaver tail part of it right here, it says don't fight litter, or it says fight litter. So I found that to be a little ironic. Yeah, fight litter, and I'm digging this thing up out of the ground. And it was all in one piece too. That was kind of cool. You're the pull tab ring pull king. I don't know. I might be that. I think a lot of us are probably in the running for the top spot on that one. Here's another cool thing I found. I guess not really strange or whatever, but it's a tag from 1974. So yeah, cool. It was bent when I found it, but I straightened it out. All right, Mouse, where'd you go? And you've kept different types for testing. Okay, yeah. I've got some of those for that too. And Brun Free says kangaroos are not aggressive. They just do their thing. Okay, good to go. Only if they're cornered, sick, etc. That's like any animal, right? They get upset. Any animal's going to defend themselves or you know, could get a little aggressive. That's pretty much any animal. All right. Sweet. All right. All right, so I do have one find that was sent in, and I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do the find spotlight, and I'm going to show that find. Sweet. All right. And all right, so I do have one find that was sent in, and I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do, and that was sent in by Find Spotlight, Darin Blackburn, and I'm going to show that. Get rid of this email all across the bottom. All right. And he found a couple of different. Well, he found one token. All right, so I do have one find that was sent in, and I'm going to go ahead. Indiana, 2.5 cent. We're going to trade token. We're going to do, and that was sent in by Find Spotlight. He found Darin Blackburn, and I'm going to show that. Get rid of this email all across the bottom. All right. All right. And he found a couple of different. Well, you found
Darin
one
usually
token.
sends me a lot of finds.
All right, so I do have one find that was sent in, and I'm going to go ahead and do it. I've always sent. I always got a find to show.
Trade token.
I'm
on
going to do
stream
that.
when I
Sent
do.
in
So
by
he found
Darren
Blackburn.
and I'm going to show
Let
that.
me get rid of this
email across the bottom.
Emails. Okay. Email sent. What you
And
got for
he
me?
found a couple of different.
Well,
he found
Darin
one
usually sends
token.
me a lot of finds.
All right, so I do have one find that
cool.
was sent
Keeps
in,
me
and I'm going to
bed
go ahead.
free.
If anyone here
And
found
I
play
always
money,
sent-
I always
have
got a find to show.
Trade token
on
on the
stream
stream
when
when
I
I
do.
do.
He found
Darren
Blackburn.
Blackburn.
And I'm going to show
Let
that.
me get rid of this
email across the bottom.
Emails. Okay. Email sent. What you
And
got for
he
me?
found a couple of
5
different
pieces.
well, he found
Darren
one
usually sends
token.
me a lot of
You know what?
finds.
All right, so I do have one find that was sent in, and I'm going to go ahead. If anyone here found play money, I always got a find to show.
Trade token
on
on the
stream.
stream.
I
Sent in
sent
by
he found
Darren
Blackburn.
Blackburn.
And I'm going to show
Let
that.
me get rid of this
email across the bottom.
Emails. Okay. Email sent. What you
And
got for
he
me?
found a couple of
5
different
pieces.
well, he found
Darren
one
usually sends
token.
me a lot of
You know what?
finds.
I
All
can.
right.
Okay, how about now? Let's see if I can fix that real quick. Sorry about that, y'all. Okay. Did it go away? All right, good to go. All right, cool. All right, thanks. Sorry about that. All right, so let me since we've already got this slide up right here, I can actually let me go here. And this is a find that I had from last week. And let's see if this will work. Because I got Larry's find here that he just sent me. And see if I can drop it in here. Can everybody see this? Hopefully this is working while I'm live. Can everybody see that? I have a guess. So is it large? Is that very large, Larry, or is it kind of small? Because it almost looks like I'll let everybody guess, and I've got my guess, but I'll let everybody else guess. I think I know what it is. Oh, that was my guess, Crafty. That's what I was thinking. Looks like like this one. So yeah, Crafty said candle snuffer. Jess says candle snuffer. And Brun Free says ice cream scoop. Yeah. Digging Dude candle snuffer. It's about 8 inches long. So yeah, looks like everybody's guessing candle snuffer, and that was kind of where I was leaning towards there. Really? Okay, so we were all wrong. And Larry says Brun nailed it. So that is an ice cream scoop. That is interesting. Buttercupper? Yeah, that is a really cool find. Done that. And Casey says Buttercupper. Nice. Okay. Ah, you found one a long time ago in an antique store, yeah? Okay. Really cool. From 1910. Hey, is that like an initial on the bottom? I don't know if you can see this mouse. But right here, that oval on the bottom looks like a G. Or am I just seeing things? Well, I say bottom. Why did I say bottom? The G on top twist in the mechanism. Oh, okay. Oh, I get it. Yep. So you scoop the ice cream out, then you turn it over the bowl and turn, and then it drops into the bowl, right? Or the cone, I'm guessing. G is for Gilchrist. Okay, let me throw that up there too so everybody can see it. G is for Gilchrist Company, 1920. All right, cool. That is really neat. That is really neat. If anybody else... And 1910 is actually stamped on it. Okay. All right. So that worked. Me dropping that in there worked. I'm assuming it did since everybody's talking about it. Yeah. All right. Download. $19.10. Nice. I mean, that's old. That's over 100 years old. Awesome find. So what were those made out of? Was that brass, or what sort of metal is it? I mean, I don't know. That's really neat, though. I like that. Never seen one? I haven't either. I didn't know it was an ice cream scoop. Or a... Yep, that is very unique. Very unique, yes. Awesome. $19.10 finger slipped to 2. Okay. You're not sure what kind of metal it was? Hopefully not lead, right? Yeah. But you know, they didn't know about that stuff back then. Lead utensils and yay. Not good. Not good at all. Anybody else got any finds they want to send in? You can email them to me if you want to right now. I mean, that's easier than filling out the form. But in between videos, if you want to send something in, please use the form because it's easier for me to kind of go ahead and download them and then put them in folders and stuff like that. But if you got something you want to send now, go right ahead. Because I have figured this out. And again, the email is dcmdetects@gmail.com. And I'm not going to leave that scrolling right now. So it's not blocking the comments. That is really neat. I myself have never seen one of those either. You know, it's really amazing, the things that detectorists find, or at least I think it is. You know, from the really awesome stuff that you find sometimes, or the silver or the gold, or but things like this get me excited. Tokens. You know, when you're digging something, to me, that has a story behind it, you know, more so than just, I mean, hey, coins are great to find. I love finding coins, but, you know, some things have more of a story behind them. And that's the kind of stuff I really like to find. Because then I start digging to see see if I can figure out what it was. And and I'm sure probably anyone that's detected much at all on an old home site has probably found, let me jump back up here for a moment. So you've all probably found one of these. I've found several of them. And that works better if I turn it towards the light. So I've found several of these ball jar lids, but normally this side is totally broken, at least in my experience. And this is the first one that I've ever dug where the porcelain seal was totally intact. It's not cracked at all. It's there. It's not even cracked. And I've never found one like this before. So I hung on to it. I wish the lid itself was in a little bit better shape, but that's, for me, is rare to find one like this where it's still there. Sometimes it's more exciting after the find when you think it's junk and then you research it. Yep. Oh, the canteen. So you didn't know exactly what it was? Yep, found those with porcelain, yeah. I think a lot of people have. It's just, you know, and I've got some of them, they're kind of just in a scrap pile. But to find that porcelain piece in one piece and not 1,000 pieces, for me, is, it's odd. Oh, check the email. Okay. What do we have? That is interesting. All right, I'm going to pop this. All right, hang on. Let me get this up on the screen. Yeah, the porcelain? No, I have never found one with a Templar looking cross on it. That's interesting. Found a whole bunch of them in one hole where hotels and kids, where a hotel was. Kids were rough, but the porcelain were good. You got a stack of them, still in good shape, huh? That's cool. Awesome. All right, I'm gonna jump back to this slide here, and we're gonna drop that one out in between a quarter and nickel size. All right. So, whoa. No, that's the wrong one. Sorry. That's Darin's find from earlier. Let me find. There it is. That. So, Digging Dude, you said you put this in there. You said watch face ? What's that date on there? Is that? Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. You recently found your second one. They're so cool. Okay, cool. All right, so you're saying this find was in between quarter and nickel size. Okay. So I'm wondering if that was a watch face. So the other side of it, I'm guessing, is what do they call it? Convex or concave? Kind of like this on the flip side. That's interesting, though. The hole in the middle. So was there anything on the back side of that, or was it just smooth, or did I miss a picture? I'm sorry. Let me look. Make sure I got what you sent me. Yay. 1986. Okay, looks like a watch face. Gotcha. Okay, I'm sorry. I should have read what you wrote above it. It's very thin. It is silver with a hole in the center where I believe the watch arm was. Silver and thin. Okay. Nice. That's a cool find. I have never found anything like that before. At all. Gotcha. All right. Other side is concave. Nice. So I got a 1956 nickel in my change the other day. Tested positive for silver. Okay. Hey, so, sorry. So for testing silver and for gold and things like that, does anyone in the chat have a recommendation for that? I've looked that kind of stuff up on Amazon before, but I'm not really sure how it all works. So if you got any suggestions, please drop them in the comments for testing silver or gold. Looks like a recreation of a walking Liberty. Yeah, it does. But it does look a little strange, right? when I first saw the thumbnail in the email, I thought it was, that's what I thought it was. A Walking Liberty with a hole in it. That's weird. I wonder, well, no, obviously with a date of 1986, it wouldn't be right. So I was going to say, I wonder if somebody actually took a coin and did anything with it, but no, not with that date. So it's a drop test kit you bought years ago. So you drop the liquid onto it, and then does it have like a chart, or does it turn a certain color or something? I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, I've never used one, so whatever you can drop in here, then we'll all learn from it. Diggin' Darrell says he graduated high school in 1986. You were 2 years behind me. I graduated in 84. So yeah, 1984. And I think I just got another email. What have we? Ooh. Oh, I saw this one. Brun Free just sent something in here. I think I saw this on your channel. Yeah, I did. Sure did. Let me download these. And okay, so these next two finds I'm going to drop in here are from Brun Free, and it is well, I'll tell you what, let me drop the let me drop the first picture in, and let's see if we can figure out what this is. I know what it is because I just read it, but let's see if anybody else can figure out what this actual piece is. And then I'll show the second picture that you sent me. Okay, so who's the oldest in the stream? I see a little bit of conversation, a little convo going on there. All right, here it is, everybody. Guesses? This came from Brun Free. Anybody got any guesses on that one? Ooh, what did I miss? Let's see. 86. Brun Free says, I think the year 86 is the commemorative coin series. I don't even want to ask what 66 was. That was my birth year. But you know, a month after I graduated, I was on my way to boot camp. Yeehaw. Oh, okay. So you scrape it just a little bit, you put the dropper on it, and it turns the color. Okay. All right. Casey. Oh, Casey was born in 1984. Okay. All right. Yeah. That was a good year. The 80s was a good time. So Larry, you're getting there. You're about mid-range, right? Digging dude, you're you're just a baby. All right. Okay, Jess's guess is compass face. Digging Daryl says cigar cutter. And Miami is the oldest so far. Jess said Jess is the oldest. Okay. Brun Free was in boot camp in 81, so you were 3 years ahead of me in boot camp. All right. Larry says a peephole. Very close. Very close, Larry. Very close. Miami says, oh, cigar cutter sounds better. All right, so I'm going to drop the other picture in here. And Brun Free, if you want to expand on this in the chat. It's a piece of this. So it's a telescope. Yep. It is off of a telescope. Which end was it? Was it this end? On the left side? Or the right side? Actually, I think you told me. Ooh. A naval guillotine telescope, brass shutter piece, Georgian era, 1825 to 1835. Awesome. So not only is it, I mean, it's very old, or at least for us over here on this side of the pond, it's very old fun. Georgian era, 1825 to 1835. Nice. That is really cool. All right. Yeah, so you got it. Yeah, you did. It's the left side of the telescope. A significant find, an old historic house not far from where the ship Rapid arrived at early settlement. So perhaps it was lost by a naval officer. Yes. See, there you go. History. That got that history behind it. Nice. Very cool find. Very cool. Yeah. Jess says, way to go. Yep, way to go. That is, so you didn't find any more pieces from it? Just that one? That's pretty significant, though. Nearby, you found musket balls and cannonballs. Nice. That is really neat. I mean, that's just... And just to think, like you said, you know, a naval officer might have lost that. Because it was right near... You said it was not far from where the ship arrived. Yeah. That is really neat. All right. Larry says, so cool. Michael says, nice. Jess says, I wish I could find like that finds like that down there where you are. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of tough for you down there in Miami, right? But you know, there is a lot of history down there. Yeah, after you sent me a message, I think on email. Yeah, it was on email. And I kind of got to poking around on the internet about Miami, and there seems to be quite a bit of history there. But as you said, it's not accessible to you. But, yeah. Digadood's got to run. Okay, all right. Good deal, man. I appreciate you stopping in and chatting. You know, I love to see the chat just engaged and talking to each other. So, it now sits in a museum. I donated it as part of a historic display about early ships and voyages to Australia. That is, hey, that is awesome. You know, to be able to offer it up and give it to the museum for them to display. That's really cool. That is really cool. And Jess says, I did read that, but everything is protected. Okay. All right. Yeah, everything's protected. So, Jess, in Miami, I think you said before you did some park hunting, and I'm assuming you do some beach hunting as well? Yeah. You said, oh, we engaged. We discovered you're the elder one. But you're not far ahead of me. What did you say, 62? Wait a minute, you're 4 years ahead of me? Okay. All right. But never too old. Never too old to enjoy this hobby. I avoid the beaches. Yeah, I can't say as I blame you. Overcrowded and overhunted. Yeah, I understand. Understand. Totally. All right. Well, pretty soon we're probably going to wrap this up here pretty soon. And I tell you what, it's been a lot of fun tonight, just chatting with everybody and showing finds and weird stuff that we might have found and just talking. I love it. I love being talking with everyone. And Brun frees the big sister. Okay, good deal. Oh, a porcelain. You sent me something else, Larry? Oh, let me look. Oh, yeah. Let me get that on the screen. I see what you're talking about. I mean, I knew what you were talking about when you said Templar, but I wasn't exactly sure. All right, let me get that up. Let's drop these out of here. And all right, so what I'm about to put on the screen now is a porcelain insert from a jar lid, correct? See if I can get this in here. Can everybody see that? I don't want to cover up the chat. So this is a porcelain. I see what you mean about the cross there. That's pretty neat. I've never found one like that. And that's that's different, right? And it's probably, I love mysteries. Yeah, if you got any more info on that, drop it in the chat. And Brun Free says, us gals love our detecting. Yes. You know, once I really got, more deeper into the hobby, I realized there were a lot more ladies that like to do this. And that's awesome. Mikey COD says, hello everyone. Sorry I'm late. You're not late, man. You are right on time. Anytime you could drop by is right on time. And I appreciate you stopping in. It's good to see you here. Is that one of those porcelain fruit kits? It's, I believe what he's showing us is kind of like what I was showing earlier, like an insert that goes inside of the lid as a seal. So, I believe that's what it is. Oh, if he can drop some more info. I see there's something on some text around this too, but I can't really read it to see what that says. Oh, I just forgot. I got a zoom on my mouse. What does that say? Looks like it says maybe porcelain. Porcelain across the top. I can't read the rest. Yeah, it looks like a Maltese cross, right? Fire department. I used to be a fireman. Yep. Mikey said it looks like porcelain to an old mason jar. Yeah, it does. It surely does. So I think I saw in there, I see Crafty. Okay, your name's Tina. If it's okay, I'll call you Tina, because I'm trying to remember names. And I think I saw in here where you said, was it a whites detector? Is that what you started with? Or, okay, here it is, yeah. Started with a whites 6000D. So what are you using now, Tina? We talked about that. Yep. Yep. What kind of detector are you using now? And Brunfrey says it has writing around it. Yeah, it does. It's probably hard to see. Hopefully you're seeing this as I kind of tug it around. Yeah, you can see right here. It's like raised. Across the top, I was able to make out porcelain on top. So yeah. Michael says I've been a fireman for 17 years. You typed in tears, but I could say tears too. There was some tears shed sometimes. No, I was a firefighter for I was in it about 15 years, and then 15 to 16 years, and then I ended up on the EMS side of things. And yeah, it's overall I spent about 25 years in it. And at some point you just got to let go of it, which is very hard as a especially firefighting. I had a hard time letting go of that, and I didn't totally let go. I still volunteered a lot, but once I got to the EMS side of things, it was crazy. So Mikey, you haven't been out detecting for about a week. It's been so hot and you're exhausted after work. I'm with you. I am with you for sure. It's been brutal down here. We had some 100+ heat index days last week, right, going into the 4th, and you're right. It's been, yeah. Some days when I come home, I work 40 hours a week, sometimes more than 40, still, but I'm working towards retirement, which should be coming up pretty soon. Well, when I say pretty soon, I'm going to try to do it in about 3 years, 4 at the most. So we'll see how that works out, right? So Michael says, yeah, you don't like the medical part. It's definitely, a lot of people don't like it, for sure. Metal detecting is a great adventure and a healthy way to be outdoors. It certainly is. Absolutely. So I think that might be all of the, let's see. Is everybody done sending? Again, my mouse is acting stupid again. All right. So I don't have anything else in the email right now. So I'm going to hop back over to this screen right here. And yeah, has anybody got anything else they want to talk about? We've been at it now for, I don't know, let's see how long. There was a timer on here somewhere. I thought, almost an hour and a half now. So, but I can stay here a little bit longer. It's up to you guys, how you want to stay longer. I've found so many beautiful finds lately, and I just get the itch to get out. Yeah. I had the itch this past weekend, and I showed this earlier, but I'll show them since you're here, Mikey. This was a first for me. I found 2 rings in one hunt. Now, they're not valuable, or at least I don't think they are, and I cannot find any markings, but here's one right here. If I can get it. There we go. There's focus. And this one is more of a silver color. Kind of hard to tell with the light. This light in here. I'm going to have to get some better light. That's a silver color, but no marking. And this one appears to be plated. And it's old. It looks really old. And it's got a total of, well, 1 stone's missing, but it would have had 5 stones in it. The large green color one there, and then 3 small clear stones. So that was a really cool hunt. I've never Never found 2 rings in one hunt. So, Jess says I dream of retiring, but not realistic. You work 80 hours a week? Oh my gosh. I feel for you. There comes a time that we have to try to start winding down, you know. And I'm to that point. So I'm guessing it's nearly 9 p.m. there. Bedtime, y'all. Hey, so what time is it in Australia right now? I'm not familiar with time zones. Is there one in more than one time zone in Australia? 10:43 a.m. Or no, where are you? Okay, so I got. Oh wow! So it's showing me 4 time zones: Kingston, Adelaide, Perth, and Christmas Island. So it could be anywhere from 7:43 a.m. to 11:43 a.m. So you're 11, or you're ahead of us by quite a bit there. I find that the finds have dwindled. I'm blaming it on the heat. The depositors don't want to be outside. Yeah. Right? When it gets really hot like that, a lot of people just don't want to go out. And Mikey has a question. If anybody can answer this. Has anyone ever sent a coin out to be graded that they found? And I have not tried to have one graded. So, anybody else in the chat? Have you ever had sent a coin to be graded? If you have, let us know. So Jess, oh wow, you got 2 businesses. So you are busy. Yeah, I can see how you're doing 80 hours a week. Yep. Brun Free says 10:15 a.m. time for a cup of coffee and a cookie. Yeah. There you go. John's winding it down. I'm there myself, and it's a good feeling. I'm assuming you're talking about retirement. Sorry, sometimes the chat, I get a little bit behind in the chat. So we were talking about retirement earlier. So it's Friday there. You do rock tumbling too. Oh, we call it Rock Friday. Nice. You know, I was thinking about getting into that one day, and then I did. So. But it looks really neat. The rock tumbling does. You have what? What did I miss? You've sent a, okay, hang on. You're answering me now, Casey. Casey says he has sent an 1879 straight settlement 20-cent silver away to be graded. So how did that process go, Casey? I mean, is it an easy process, and is it costly? That was my 2 things. You know, is it pretty easy to do, and does it cost a lot to have it done, or how's that work? Yes, retirement plan on doing... Yes, retirement. Let me slow down. Plan on doing a lot of detecting with my free time. Good deal, John. Good deal. And that's exactly what I'm going to do whenever I hit that. Mikey says, reason for my question is I found a 1877 Seated Liberty $50 with the Carson City Mint in beautiful condition. I was wondering if it would be worth sending it out. I would say I think Carson City is more of a rare find, and if it's in really good condition, I would probably say yes. But then again, I've never done it, so somebody else might be able to answer that better. Maybe Casey. He sent one out. So John says, love the channel. Also, keep it up. I sure will, John. I'm trying. I try to do my best. Casey says 1 of 50,000 minted. Now, Casey, that's the coin you found? Yeah, I don't know how many. I wonder how many Carson City $50 mints there were for that $50 that you got there, Mikey. That's a good question. 1877 Seated Liberty $50. Y'all excuse me, I'm typing. Well, on NGC, so there's NGC and there's PGCS for coin grading. Brunfrey says, John, you have a great new chapter in your life. Yay, and exciting for you. Yes. Detecting can be quite frustrating at times, but very rewarding. And it just really, it depends on how you approach it, your mindset, and how you get into the whole thing. But don't get discouraged, and it will definitely reward you. Casey said it was $80 and it was mailed back in, and it was PCGS. Okay. And Michael says, I will have to work half of my funeral. Oh man, sometimes you feel that way, right? Oh, you mowing your 5-acre yard? Oh man, have a good time with that, Larry. Oh yeah, that's a good point, Casey. If you clean it, it will be graded as cleaned. If you don't clean it, it will be graded as environmental damage. So I've always wondered about that too with grading coins. So if you're pulling these coins out of the ground, now when they grade it as cleaned, does that, I mean, obviously it's not a mint coin, it's not a proof coin, it's not uncirculated. So the value is not, it's going to be a lot different, but how does that affect the value? Like when they mark it as cleaned, is that kind of like, psh, never mind, it's not worth anything? Or I don't know. I only wash the dirt off with water in a very, 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 very soft brush. All right. What did I miss from Jess? Okay, Jess asked a question. Is there any other way to have a coin graded without mailing it off? Yep, and Brun Free answered. Our museums have numismatics that work there looking after displayed coins. Yeah. You know, I don't think, I wouldn't recommend taking it to like some kind of coin dealer or something because, I mean, unless you really know that person and trust them, you know, because it's, you know, I'm not trying to say everybody might be a scammer or a shyster or anything like that, but you know, you could take this coin to somebody and it could be worth something. Like if you go to one of these dealers or something, or somebody that buys and sells coins, and they could be like, oh, it's only worth, you know, blah, 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 when they know that it's worth a lot more. So that might be kind of risky. It might sneak through, but I'd bet one of the two. Yours was graded as environmental damage? Okay. And it hurts the value either way. Oh man, that stinks. So how much of a difference really? I mean, because honestly, if it does hurt the value a lot, then, you know, why pay the money? Museum numismatics are highly skilled at grading coins. Okay. Good deal. So what's best? Leave it in the dirt? No, I wouldn't. You know, even if you only display it yourself, or if you know of a, you know, like as Brun's saying, there's, you know, museums that might help you out and things like that. Where I'm at, I don't have, actually there is one small museum, that's not far away from me, but it's not some huge, it's like a locally funded, but they're very helpful and they do a lot of research on things, and they've helped me identify some of my stuff. So yep. You know, Mikey, I would just say, if it costs about $80 to have it graded, I guess it's, you know, then it's just a toss up, you know, whether or not you want to spend the money and see how it grades. You know, it's, yeah, you could go either way. $1877 Carson City. I'm actually looking at it right now on the oh yeah. Yeah, that does, depending on how that grades, it could get up pretty high. Yep. Grading services authenticate the coin, so if you're going to sell it, it assures the buyer that it's real. Yep. Yep. So you can fetch more money for it once it's graded because they're going to make sure that it's authentic. And they will, let me share this. Yeah, you're right. $80. It is worth $80 just to find out probably if it's good. All right, so here is. Now I can't see comments now that I'm sharing, but here's the PCGS website, Mikey, and there's your Carson City. Did you say it was a 77 or a 76? 77. So there's where your mint mark is. For anybody that doesn't know, there's where the Carson City mint mark is. It's underneath the eagle on that $50. And if I scroll down here, what you see, if you go to this website, it's a good place to look around. As Casey said, they grade the coins. This is a grading service. But if you look down here, they show different prices. And you can also see what it's selling for on eBay. But you can see some of the pricing down here. PGCS graded. So it's up over, a couple thousand at the lowest. Or the lowest I see is 1975. Or no. Well, for PGCS, it's 1975. For NGC, it's 1610. So, worth a shot. Okay. So Casey said the grading companies do send you an opinion on the value. That's pretty cool. Nice. So it might be well worth the $80. Send it away. For sure. Take the time to learn about coin metals and their composition and enjoy your finds. Yep, Casey already brought that up. Mikey, about a week after I found the seated Liberty $50, I found 2 seated Liberty half dimes, but they were in rough condition. Okay. All right. Cool. So not location or anything, but what type of site was that, Mikey? Was it like a home site, a field, woods, what kind of site were you hunting there? All right, Michael's got to bounce on out of here. It's good to see you, Michael, in the chat, and I appreciate you stopping in and hanging out with us. Casey says, I dug an 1872 Carson City seated dime. Glad to get it off the bucket list. Yeah, well, that's still on my bucket list. Anything seated is still on my bucket list. Okay, your coin, if it did not have environmental damage, it would have been worth $500, and they valued it at $200. Gotcha. So quite a difference, but still not. The value that it is, is more than what you paid to have it graded. So, all right, nice. And Mikey says, thanks everyone. I think I'm going to send it out. All right, good deal. Yeah, let us know what happens with that if you in the future live stream, if you bounce in here and let us know how that goes. I'd love to know. So everybody Brun says, thanks everyone. Thank you, DCM. My rocks are calling me. Time to head out in the workshop. Take care, y'all. Keep swinging, and bye for now. Brun, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for participating in the chat and holding a conversation. The finds that you sent me, I appreciate it. And thanks for stopping by. And please come back again next time we do a live. Larry said, one seated here, 1876 quarter. All right. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't been that fortunate. So. Oh, that sounds like a really neat site to hunt, Mikey. Old state hospital that opened in the 1840s. Nice. Brun says, my pleasure. Goodbye. Have a good day. I almost said have a good night. Have a good day. And I hope your rocks turn out nice for you. All right. Old State Hospital. That's interesting. Yeah. But I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up and bounce out of here myself. It's getting a little bit on the late side here. But just real quick, Casey, I will be in touch with you. And I'd love to set up or coordinate a time where we can get you on and you can tell everyone about your awesome products. You've dug 22 U.S. seeded coins, but never a large cent. You know, I would imagine, yeah, you know, because a lot of, especially on the East Coast and farther north, now we do find them. I say we, detectors in this area, do find large cents and things like that from time to time. But on the northern side of the country, on the East Coast, they find a lot more than we do down here. So, Diggin' Daryl says, have a good weekend. You too, Diggin' Daryl. All right, Jess says, thanks. Have a great evening. Back to work I go. Don't work yourself too hard, Jess. And Casey giving a thumbs up. Good deal. We'll get together at some point and try to nail something down so we can show everybody your stuff, because that's all I use now. Excalibur shovels. Everybody check them out. If you have not, go take a look at the website. It's www.excalibur.com. Best warranty on shovels out there. But I'm going to go ahead and dip out of here and say goodnight, everyone. And for those of you that stopped in and you hung out for this amount of time, I appreciate you. And again, like I said, I love just coming in here, hanging out, chatting, and I love to see you guys in the chat talking to each other also. And that's what it's all about. And Mikey got his question answered tonight as far as coin grading goes, and y'all are able to help him out. So I love that. But anyway, I hope everyone has a great weekend coming up. If you're in the south or the southern part of the country, try to stay cool, for sure. Or even out west, right? Getting hot out there too. But yeah, stay safe out there. And if you go detecting, I wish you luck on your hunts and happy hunting. And I'm going to go ahead and say good night.